YouTube, how we doing? PPS here. YouTube, we are coming at you with, I don't know why I put an NFL draft now that I look at the thing now. I hope you got a long shot for me, Stu, in the NFL draft. I did put it in the thing up there. So we're here for mostly baseball, though. We got our straight bets today in the MLB. Joined as always by my guy, Stu. What's going on?
No, yeah, I mean, definitely. I got some MLB. There's not that much NFL draft round 2, but I do have a long shot to talk about. We can do that at the end, as long as like some NFL draft reactions as well. I did a lot of watching. I did a lot of talking about the draft yesterday, and I'm excited for round 2, honestly. There's still a lot of really good players on the board, and a lot of quarterbacks, Shedeur Sanders, some guys like that. So I'm happy, man. That'll be fun. I'll have to be dual screening some MLB and some NFL draft tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go yesterday because I would have fucking probably knew about 90% of the people there, bro. I fucking feel like everybody from around my hometown was there, and
it's dope though. It's free. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they hit max capacity at 6:30, 30 minutes before the draft started. Couldn't even get in. So hopefully, I'm not sure if it'll stay like that this week. Or for today, just because there's not that many, games in, or not that many like bets going on or anything like that, or they're doing second and third round today. I'm feeling that not that many people are going to be there to actually care about the draft. It'll be mostly just like kind of walk around and see everything.
Yeah, if you're like in the area, probably like why not? The NFL draft comes to your part of town. I'd check it out if it was in DC. So. Yeah, no, I mean, people said they had fun. I saw it on Twitter and stuff, and yeah, I had a pretty good time betting on it. I know we were texting about it. We had a couple solid wins with Jackson Dart going to the Giants. That was pretty awesome. Dude, his son tweeted out, like his son who was on record saying that they should get Jane Daniels last year, literally reposted on his Instagram a night before highlight tapes of Jackson Dart. Like that was the ultimate signal right there. Every beat reporter was posting about it, so that was fun. I don't actually think Jackson Dart's very good, but I do think he kind of fits the Daboll offense. I think they could, design a pretty solid point and shoot offense with him there. I saw someone say Brock Purdy as a comparison. I think that's kind of fair, honestly. You just get out there, get the ball to Malik Neighbors. Daboll's a good play caller. It could work out. So shout out to the Giants fans. I've been talking to our guy Alpha Dog Bets on Twitter. I know he's a big Giants fan. It's the first draft I think they can probably feel really good about in a while because Abdul Carter fucking rocks as well.
Yeah, what a first round for them, man. So good for them. I'm happy. They're not going to be the laughing stocks. I feel like a lot of the times they are in that sense where they kind of stink it up a little bit in the draft. But yeah, it was good to see, some teams making some moves here. Early draft movement, I was not expecting that. Shout out to the 34-year-old fucking GM making a move there in first time. So, my God, dude, I was not expecting that. But I guess my thoughts for you, I'm asking because I was really scared that Warren was going to go to the Bears because obviously I like Tyler Warren. But I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I saw Loveland go 10, right? And I keep seeing everybody say that he's like really, really good, all this stuff in like terms of like pass catching and stuff like that. But like, I don't see this Bears offense being a good 2 tight end offense, bro. Like you have all these receivers and all these like, they're like not like alpha receivers, right? They're all like good at their certain spots, like your Keenan Allen, Adunze's got his certain skill set. DJ Moore, obviously. Am I crazy? Like, I would assume you'd want to take a guy that would take over for Kmet, right? And I feel like you're kind of drafting him to be like tight end 2. Where I feel like Warren is just like that full all-around guy. I was kind of nervous, bro. I was kind of nervous they were going to get Warren, and that would have been fucking filthy. I want to know your thoughts because I heard it from both sides now. I obviously don't give a fuck about the Bears. I hope they suck. I really think Colston Loveland could bust real easy. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's a real high-risk play. I heard multiple
teams. At 10. You're in the top 10.
Yeah. So I'll say in general, getting a tight end that's not like an elite prospect at 10 would not be something, if I were a GM, I'd be interested in. So for me, Warren and Loveland, like neither of them would have been on my board at 10. But Ben Johnson has ran the top 12 personnel in pretty much every year he's been offensive coordinator. He clearly wants that Sam Laporta kind of weapon, and they have better access to medicals than I do, right? Which apparently it dropped him off multiple teams' boards. So if they were comfortable enough with the medicals, because there are a lot of guys with medical and character concerns in this draft, I'm essentially just making the assumption if you're going to reach for one of these guys that you have more information than I do and that you're comfortable with it. But for me, I think Warren's a little overrated in the draft, honestly. Like I wasn't as big of a fan as a lot of people were, just because I feel like people made it out like he could do everything. But then you looked at like the blocking, it was pretty mid, below average. People hyped up the yards after catch a lot. But I don't think like he's going to be able to do that in the NFL. I just think he did that because he was the only single weapon on the team that was like an anemic passing offense. It was brutal. And I think he benefited from the usage from that. So I don't hate like Loveland in general, taking him over Warren, like the thought of that, but just at 10 specifically.
It's just so high, bro.
Yeah, it's so too aggressive in my opinion. But like people think Loveland as an athlete is really good. Like the projections I see from that, they like the athletic upside as a pass catcher. And assuming Kmet's just going to be more of the blocker there. So if that does pan out and he stays healthy, it could be like a real good like fantasy type of pick, you know, like kind of immediate contribution, but definitely a high risk pick. Like if you miss on this, it's going to look really, really bad going forward.
I just think it's crazy, bro, because you just paid Kmet, bro. Like you just paid him. Like this ain't just like a 1 year get your feet and you're taking over, right? You're not going to pay a dude the amount of money you just paid Cole Kmet to now just sit, you know, and like I guess maybe you trade him or whatever, but like I don't know, man. I just don't. You also gotta know you can run a fucking great 2 tight end personnel when your offensive line is fucking insanity, dude. Like they could run over anybody with that offensive line in Detroit. Like it's different ball game, man. Because now you're gonna have to chip 90% of the time. Because still, that's why I thought the Bears were gonna get some of those tackles that were still on the board, and I'm like, that's where I thought they were going. And I don't know. In my opinion, I thought that Warren was a lot older than he was because you kind of feel like he's been there a lot. Obviously, I'm in the Big Ten country, so I know. But, like, I didn't realize Loveland and him were a year apart only. I thought Loveland was like – I thought they were a little bit – like, I thought he was a little older. But I looked at it, and I saw that Warren's only a year older than him. So it's like that kind of thought in my head. Like, maybe he's like a 24-year-old or whatever. You don't have to prospect like that. But they're pretty much the same in that aspect, too.
Yeah, and one other thing, this is actually a pretty good tight end draft. Like you got like Fannin Jr., who is like only offense. Like think Evan Ingram type of player. You got that Arroyo guy as well, who's another offense. Like Mike
Miami.
From Miami was the comp. You see Mike Gesicki. So 2 other real offensive type of tight ends that will probably be available mid to late second round. Like that kind of almost makes it a little bit harder to go that high at tight end when you see multiple other guys that could kind of fit that type of role later. And like you said, that same kind of offensive line, that same kind of defensive line talent isn't going to be there later in the draft. So it's risky. Anytime you go for a skill position, even like, I don't know. Honestly, gambling on a lot of these guys high up is scary to me, like in general, because it just puts a lot of pressure that they have to hit. Especially like you mentioned Jacksonville a second ago, trading up number 2. I don't know if you saw the guy's press conference, the GM only like 34 years old. He pretty much said like he's comfortable with the fuck them picks lifestyle back with the Rams where he worked. And that, yeah, he's good. Like he said, he's uniquely able to like work in this situation, which to me, I mean, as a 34-year-old stepping up to like the big boy table, coming in with that kind of,
didn't seem overwhelmed or anything.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. This better work out, buddy, because you can't come in talking like that. Like, hey, I'm like that. I'm ready to handle this kind of situation when he's never himself done anything, right? He's worked with the Rams. The Rams won a Super Bowl, but they're also probably paying the consequences now. Like they took an interesting strategy, unique one. It worked out. A little bit of luck was involved. Is that going to now work again in Jacksonville? We'll see what happens. You know, you gave up a first round pick for next year. That's a little bit little bit scary right there. But they did get a good football player in the building, at least. I respect getting Hunter. I think that'll work out. I think he'll be a really good player. But like he better be, you know what I mean? If he's not all pro, then you're going to look like an idiot. And that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself as a GM, you know?
Yeah, no, and I've seen this comment too. It didn't really produce shit at Michigan. And when you have, everybody selling out to stop the run because you knew they were going to run the ball 45 times, and playing, in that side of the division, those last 2 years, they've played absolute dog shit competition. Same thing with all the Big Ten schools, because it's just kind of pick and choose which ones you get each year. This stuff doesn't really mean much to me, when they because you know what I'm saying, like you're playing. Okay, you got Iowa, good defense, sure, but then you're playing like Rutgers. You're playing all these like really shitty teams that you're just running the ball, and then you're gonna make a big fucking play because they're all selling out to stop the run. So it's like I've watched Michigan, right? I've watched enough Big Ten in my area, right? They're always on TV. Same thing with Warren, and I don't know. I just felt like he was a lot more complete of a tight end, like that asked to do it. Like he's one guy doing it. If you're using two, sure. Like that's like he's got one role. I just thought that Warren definitely is a lot better, blocker as well. Obviously, they used him in different other types of stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not as high on Loveland, I feel like, as a lot of people, I guess, are now because he went in the top 10. But, like, you're paying a dude top 10 money, bro. I'm not having him be a fucking number 2 at his own position. Like, you should be the dude, bro. That's just all I'm saying. Like, that's...
Yeah, and I get that. I think you will be, like, to a certain extent, because you don't, like... I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't be that harsh about other offensive only. Like, you wouldn't be that harsh about Laporta. You wouldn't say he's not the dude on his team. It's just like, to what extent does he get from like Evan Ingram to Laporta is kind of the question, And
Evan Ingram does the same thing. He's literally just an athlete going out there, right?
Yeah,
they're not blocking, not doing shit in the trenches, just making moves and doing stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know. I thought I would. I didn't realize he didn't really have any numbers either. Like they were showing his numbers on the thing too. So Warren really didn't either before this year. So I'll give you that. Like they're both pretty similar, but it's just like, I don't want to have to carry 2, like when you have a guy that, like your Gronks, you don't need a second one, right? When you have Mark Andrews, luckily they hit on the second one. Like I don't even really consider Isaiah Likely a tight end really, because he doesn't really block either because he's a receiving tight end. But again, the draft capital usage on it is significantly higher than what was used on Isaiah Likely. So, I think thoughts on Shedeur. Is he going 33rd to the Browns or what?
I don't think so, no. Well, I mean, we can just talk about the long shot stuff now.
All right, sure, because I'm going to talk baby baseball after that.
Yeah, I don't think so, no. And honestly, I do want to say before we go into Shedeur, I think everyone's like, hot take, he sucks. How is it a hot take if everybody thinks he sucks? Like, I hate that. It bothers. Everyone's acting like they have this contrarian opinion that they don't think he's good. That's not a contrarian opinion. That's the common opinion. So I don't know. I'm rooting for him. That's all I'll say. I get he's had, a cocky attitude at times. He's the son of a legend. It's a weird circumstance, but the vitriol this guy gets, like, is, in my opinion, it's a level too far. It's very harsh.
This is a really bad quarterback class too. Like this
exactly, yeah. And once again, like I don't feel good about Jackson Dart either. Like I don't like either of these guys, but like for the Giants' needs, I probably would have picked Dart. So I don't have anything too negative to say about that. I think Sanders is like a second round quarterback. I don't know. My thing though, I don't think he's going to go 33. I think everyone's just projecting it to the Browns. I think the Browns would be kind of cool at trading back. That's been a rumor because they have 2 picks right here. So I think they're going to trade one of these back, looking for more capital for next year's draft, like they've already done. They're a tanking team. I think if they go a quarterback, I think it's Milroe, which I know kind of would shock people a little bit, but I did take a little bit of Milroe to go there. It was like plus 600. And then I took Milroe to go. What's the other one? Oh, to the Saints at plus 400. So I got 2 little long shots on Milroe. If you follow me on Twitter, I posted Milroe over 38.5. which is we're still going to be sweating here. The Saints pick is 40. I think that's probably where Milroe goes.
So you want to put Jalen to the Saints on here or what?
Yeah, we'll do Milroe to the Saints at plus 400.
Okay.
And I think it's between the Saints and pretty much Cleveland here. But I wanted to start there because Sanders is like, he was minus 100. Now he's plus 165 to go, pick 33. If it's a quarterback, my hot take is it's Milroe. That would be just because he's such a project, and I'm a dumbass. I bet Milroe Heisman last year. The guy has a fucking cannon, and he's an awesome athlete. He sucks at everything else. If you watch the highlights, you'd think this guy was the number 1 overall pick. If you watch a full game, you go, why the fuck is this guy in the draft? Like, it's an infuriating project, but you got to remember, we're now like 6 months away from football. We're far away from everyone watching him get benched and suck, and now you're just looking at the tools. And when you're looking at, like, the guy from Louisville who's 26 years old and
Shaw or whatever,
competition, it's like, okay, I kind of want the guy with the fucking cannon. That's an insane athlete. So I see why there's Milroe hype. I personally I've been fooled before. You know what I mean? I bet the Heisman. Like, it's rough to watch those full games, but I think the Saints would be the team. They're 40. The Saints are far from being good. They don't have any quarterbacks on the roster outside of Ritter. Right now, like, it's brutal. Like, it's brutal in Saints land. I feel bad for Saints fans. I did give their first round pick an A. They got the best offensive lineman available, Banks, at the time. I think that's smart. You got to build in the trenches. You don't have any money to sign free agent offensive lineman either. So I thought that was a good pick. I think it makes sense to get a project quarterback now, a guy that's probably not going to be good immediately. But he might take some time and he might be good eventually. I also would not be surprised if Milroe completely falls out of the second round and gets drafted in the third round. Because remember, like, Malik Willis a couple years ago, everyone was like, yeah, that's going to be the guy. Like, they'll just take him in the second. Oh, they'll just take him in the third. And he just kept falling, you know? And I don't know if there's a rush to take any of these quarterbacks to be completely honest. So I do have a little bit on Milroe to the Saints here. I think Cleveland could be like a crazy long shot as well. But yeah, I think that's it. And then I do have another one. I do have this is even crazier. It's pick 33 on FanDuel. It's the only one you can bet on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Amorawar. I don't know how to say his name. The South Carolina
safety, right? Safety
or
South corner?
Safety. Yeah. He's 30 to 1.
I'm just going to put Nick A.
Yeah. There we go. Wait, I think it starts with E. Nick E.
E.
Yeah, there we go. He's 30 to 1. This one, obviously, this is like $10. Don't go crazy. He had a perfect RAS score, elite athlete. The Browns love athletic beasts. So I think someone that loves elite athletes could be trading up here. 33, they love elite athletes as well at the Browns. He fits in their defense first kind of mindset. If you're punting quarterback, then punt quarterback. If you already got that first next year, you're committing to just sucking. Grab an athletic beast, shore up that defense even more. It's a defense first team either way. And yeah, 30 to 1, he's kind of a beast. He was projected to go a couple teams in round 1. He just fell out. Safety is not a premier position, so that's why you kind of tend to fall out. But this is the time now where you take like high value athletes at non-premier positions. So I think he can make sense at 30 to 1, whether a team wants to go up maybe 1 or 2 spots and get him, or whether he falls right here. The big thing I'm just worried about is Travion Henderson. I had him to go in the first round. It really pissed me off if he went the pick right after. I don't think a running back should be their priority, but Henderson is going to go one of these first 3 picks. There's no over-under for him. He's 100% going immediately. Pretty much like every team I've read likes him. So I want to bet on him in some way. But I think he probably could be the sneaky pick here. He's even the favorite over Sanders, like in real time right now. So that wouldn't surprise me either. But I honestly wouldn't be shocked by defense whatsoever.
Yeah, and they just got Graham, right? That was who they got. Mason Graham at the 5th pick.
Yep.
Myles Garrett just signed with them now again. So it's like, it's a tough defense, man, to mess around with. And to just kind of put in perspective, I think my dad messaged me this, that like if you went through like the metrics from last year, if Cam Ward would have came out last year, he would have been like the 7th or 8th best quarterback. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And you're about to pay this dude that much fucking money? He would have been the 8th best quarterback coming out last year. Hey, shout out Cam Ward, his agent. We didn't tell him, well, let's get that 5th. Let's get that 4th, 5th year in there. You're saying. So I thought that was crazy because obviously now you're just paying him an absolute bag, and you could have literally drafted any of the other quarterbacks last year and probably been fine.
Yeah.
Obviously Knicks and all that there. But yeah, I just feel like this is going to be a tough spot for him to kind of come in and just kind of, you don't have Derrick Henry there no more. It's a tough spot for him. But yeah. So last question before we switch over to MLB. Video Beast Bro, Stu, thoughts on Milroe over Shaw at minus 178? You want to pay a tax like that? I feel like I don't hate it. Shaw's old and feel like you could probably get him a little bit later in this draft. But what's your thoughts on this one, paying a little bit of tax on it?
Yeah, I played it for a little bit. We were talking about this in my Discord a little bit earlier. Like I played it really small. I don't feel strongly about it just because I think like it should be what it is, but these teams are unpredictable, man. Like these teams are so unpredictable. And now that we're in the second round, the pressure's off. You won't get roasted for taking a fucking 26-year-old rookie that's like older than Joe Burrow or whatever. Like maybe now, I guess, would be the time, but I would have to think Milroe goes before him. The only issue would be if they both just kind of keep falling. And then it could get real tricky in like the later third or fourth rounds, because then it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? It's kind of a crapshoot at that point. And you don't even know who's going to be picking. So the teams that I would think would take quarterbacks, though, are like a couple years away. Like the Seahawks need a quarterback for the future, but they just addressed their now. So like Milroe would make sense, but you're not taking a 26-year-old rookie to sit 2 years, So he would have to go somewhere to like immediately be more of a factor. And I just don't know what the answer to that is, honestly. So that would be my take there. The last thing I saw, who's the best wide receiver in the second round? It's probably got to be Luther Burden. I'll say, though, I love Higgins from Iowa State. I think he's really good. 6'4", smooth, good route runner. There's minimal buzz for him to go in the first round. Before it was pick 33 and 34 offered, he went to minus 105 and then minus 200 and then off the board to be the Texans pick at 34. So either someone knows a trade up is happening, someone knows the Texans love him at 34 or something, because Higgins is like, he's going likely to, if the betting odds are correct, at least from that steam, in that as that second wide receiver. But I think Luther Burden is going to be really good. He's just more of a design touch guy. Like I think you got to get him like involved a lot. He's not necessarily your like alpha outside dominating wide receiver one, but I think Burden is really good and he has great production in college to back it up.
Yeah, I'm always tough on that one just because there was you had a 1A, 1B at Iowa State. When he was there, you also had Hutchinson there. You also had what's his face there, who's in the draft today as well. Noel.
Yeah.
So that always kind of gets me too. Like when I look at a guy like Harris from Ole Miss, you knew the ball was going in every fucking throw. Like that kind of always kind of gets me a little bit. When you have to have a guy that has been used to being designed against already, and kind of has that type of thought process, especially playing in the SEC. Really nobody else that they threw to, right? I mean, he was alpha of all those. Same thing with Burden, obviously.
I think the thing that's Harris is he just didn't test very well as like an athlete. Like he's more of like a college dominating guy that like when you get to the next level, he more profiles as like a slot or inside kind of guy.
Yeah, you would have to be because he was really good after the catch. Like he's phenomenal after the catch. You'd have to almost use him in the slot.
But that just takes your like positional value down. So teams aren't going to like draft you as high. But I agree. He's just a guy that gets open. It's kind of as simple as that. For me, Higgins, I just love the size. You shoot for the upside. You think of him more, even at same name, like T. Higgins is like a wide receiver too, like a guy that you don't want him to be your 1A, but just those contested catch downfield. He's big. He has good hands and he gets open. I can get behind a profile like that. 10 out of 10 times, especially when there's not like elite speed in this draft. There really isn't at the wide receiver position. So I tend to go size after that. And I think that could be a solid fit, but not for the Texans. I wouldn't have done that for the Texans, surprisingly enough. I think that's a bit of a weird, because some people, if you look at his like boom projections, it would be like a Nico Collins, a big guy that could win downfield. And like, you already got that, So I don't know. That's a little bit interesting, but I respect it. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, I'm always curious too. Just like I don't take the straight 40 as like gospel, like a lot of people do. Like some of those dudes just get open, man. Like if you just get open, I mean that's that's priority one, right? And that's why it's always tough for me because I know Harris didn't test well, but I've watched him win one-on-ones. I've watched him win in double coverage and stuff like that. But obviously, that will affect your value, obviously, as it goes forward. So I'll get to this last one, I guess, since Paul is always in here. Make sure we get this here. Thoughts on Will Howard? I don't know, bro. I don't know if he's NFL type of player. I don't know if you have anything different here.
I don't love Will Howard, but a couple people I respect and do like him more. And I don't know, he's interesting. I don't think we're that in his range yet. I still think Milroe and Shaw probably go before him. I think he's then in that next range. So I don't think if the Rams took him, it would be a little bit deeper. I could see that the Rams are another team mocked to take a quarterback as an option. I haven't looked at their market yet. I heard that they want to take offense in general, but they need to address O-line. They apparently like a bunch of wide receivers. So I don't know. I don't know if the Rams are going to end up with them. If it is, I think it would be a decent amount later in the draft. But I have seen, I don't know, Howard's kind of like a gamer, you watched him, he's tough. He kind of clutch. He leaned on his legs a bit in college. He doesn't have the frame to do that in the NFL. He can't take those same kind of hits. That's what I'd be worried about. But he's the guy, I could see him as a backup, hanging around, spot starter kind of guy. I think he could stick in the league. But I don't know if he'll get a chance to start that soon. I think he'd be going in as a backup, a practice squad kind of guy. But I've heard some people like him, so I can't hate on it too much.
Sounds good. All right, let's get to MLB now. I know I was not expecting to go that long in the draft, but it's all right.
That's on me.
Appreciate all you guys popping in here, as always, joining us throughout. We have a full slate. I believe it's 15 games. Every team is playing today. Heading over to you, Stu. Any game sticking out, obviously, outside of the big boy Paul Skeens Dodgers matchup?
Well, I was gonna say, man, they gave us a fucking banger to end the night tonight. I mean, two of the best pitchers in the league, obviously Skeens, and yeah, Yoshi on the other side. I'm excited. I mean, yeah, to be honest, that game, Nationals are facing Senga. I always like watching Senga, and we got the draft on tonight. Outside of that, the only other games I'm excited for would be the Red Sox and Guardians, because I think both of those pitchers are very hittable, and I think I can find some good batter props in that game. So that's probably the one I'm looking for selfishly for betting purposes. But yeah, just like everyone else, I'll be watching the big one tonight with the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, I don't think you'll ever see a plus 180 on a Paul Skeens game ever in your life. So if you look at it that way, I mean, that's as value as you're going to get. I think for me, I would probably be definitely going to the Gowan Sale. I know both of them have not been themselves so far. So those guys are somewhere I would like to also look at. Second, anytime Logan Gilbert hits the mound is a time I want to be betting on him. But also, I've made a lot of money on the Marlins this year, dude. I've made a lot of money on them, so it makes it tough for me. I've always been playing the Marlins against lefties, and I'll be talking about Logan Gilbert here shortly. But yeah, definitely a interesting spot here today. We have a lot of good pitchers on the bump, and we should be absolutely loaded with bets that we can find as we go forward. So I will kick it over to you, Stu, as we get rolling here, and get your pick out for today.
Sounds good. We got Francisco Lindor over 1.5 total bases, minus 115, 365. It's minus 120 DraftKings. I think it's good to minus 125, minus 130 range. But you don't see total bases move that much, to be honest. It's normally stays in this range. And I like this price a lot, honestly. Francisco Lindor is a guy. I mean, I'm a Nationals fan. Everybody knows that. I got my Nats hat on. It's backwards right now. We're disguising that because we're, betting against my team right now. But he's a Nats killer. He's absolutely destroyed us. I like Lindor. I kind of like his game. I know he's kind of, I guess, a polarizing player at times. But whenever he's played the Nationals, he's always killed us. In his career versus Jake Irvin, he's 5 for 10 with a couple homers, limited sample size, but he's crushed him. Irvin's a guy that, the projections don't love him that much. I feel his advanced stats maybe aren't the greatest in the world. I'm a fan of him as a player just because I like his style of he's going to go out there. He's going to give you 6 innings. He's generally going to attack the strike zone. He's not going to walk too many guys. Like, I like the kind of pitcher he is. The Nationals bullpen is the worst in the league. They have the worst bullpen ERA. And Irvin's going to be a guy that could possibly give you 7. Like, he'll go deep into the games. He'll fight for your outs. But it's not going to be pretty along the way. There's a lot of, runners in scoring position along the way. He kind of struggles with some hard contact at times. And when you look at it, the biggest thing, that kind of jumped off the page so far this year, much worse against lefties than righties, obviously. The slugging 530 this year against lefties. When you look at it last season, 50 points worse slugging lefties versus righties. So it's not like a new struggle. When you dive in a little bit deeper in his pitch splits, it's because he really the curveball is the only pitch that's doing good against lefties right now. It's really his main good pitch. So he's throwing the curveball more than any other pitch, right? That's his number one pitch to lefties. But when you can't just pepper them with curveball, both the fastball and the changeup are getting hit over 300, slugging over 500. So he's got the curveball going. That's good. But outside of that, there's not much going at all for Irvin against lefties. And just in general. That's kind of how his pitch splits break down right now. And then when you obviously flip over and look at Lindor's been awesome. Coming in with some great form, 309 on the season. He has 4 straight multi-hit games coming in. He has 4 homers in his last 7 games over the last week, hitting 427. We have multiple, hit upside. We have extra base hit upside. We have the past good matchup history. And Irvin, I've been watching these games. The box score is good, but he's been hanging on. There's been some hard contact. There's been some guys left on base. I'm not saying he's due for a 8-run game, but I do think you're going to see the Mets have some success in this game. Lindor has had a lot of past success against my Nats. I've seen it crush me. He's coming in with good recent form. I see no reason to not back the total bases, taking advantage of a clear struggle for Irvin so far this year. So let's keep on doing what you're doing. Hopefully it's not too painful. I might go watch one of these games, this weekend. So I don't want to see him hit a homer, but maybe a double and get, stranded on base.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Obviously, I love watching Lindor. Obviously, getting to mess around with the Nationals bullpen doesn't hurt my feelings about this bet either. So yeah, don't hate it. I'm always just I just can never bet total bases. I'm always a hit runs RBIs guy.
Yeah.
But that's just me. That's my preference. I truly don't even think I've bet a total bases in the last 2 years. I don't.
Yeah. I mostly made that switch. My thing though is, and it's where we're a little different. I can't do the 2.5. I can't. I
do it a lot, dude. I bet the 2.5.
I know you do, and you're good at it. So I see why. But for me, I'd rather get in the trenches and try to find the 6 hitter that might have an edge. I'd rather go in the uglier, deeper pitch splits and stuff just to avoid the 2.5. And even I'd rather go. What I try to do, people notice it. I go to run scored when it's a 2.5 a lot of the time, and the guy's a walk threat, especially. That's when I'll try run scored as my substitute. But yeah. I struggle with that 2.5 hits runs RBI. So that's when I go to the total bases normally. But I feel you on that completely.
Yeah, and there's runs RBIs market too that are nice. I definitely like taking those. Just when you get to some of those better guys, they're minus 160, which is it's tough to justify. So I will be going to my fade boy, and that's Kyle Hendricks. I'm going there with Logan Gilbert. I think of these 7 that we've hit in a row, oh shit, we didn't even recap. We talked MLB or we talked NFL right away, but we're heading for 8 in a row, hopefully here on the show. And I think 5 of those have been plus money. So, I might as well just keep rolling and keep that going. So I'm going to hopefully get one here. And we got Kyle Hendricks, 4 hits allowed, being very much the chalk of this bet. Do I like Kyle Hendricks at all as a pitcher? No. I think he's absolutely washed. I do understand that he has been very, very lucky in terms of not giving up hard contact. There are a lot of hard hit balls on the ground, so he's not really been giving up a ton of barrels. It's just been those, 100-mile-an-hour balls on the ground. They haven't been getting lifted. Unfortunately for him, I think that kind of ends tonight in this spot. I'm not a huge fan of this Twins team, but they are at home. They do have their ace on the hill. And I feel like that's definitely going to kind of pick it up because I hate this Twins team. I despise them. I think they're terrible. I think they're one of the worst teams to what they were just supposed to do at the start of the year to what they've done so far. They've been absolute trash. You just got fucking walked by the freaking White Sox. You just got shut out by the fucking White Sox. Wake up. You get the best matchup you could ask for, seeing 86 at a top out. I just feel like this has to be a game where it's just like, look at yourself in the mirror, Twins. You just got fucking shut out by the White Sox. Like, wake up, bro. Like, you have your ace on the hill. This is going to be one of those games where I think Hendricks kind of, I think he could dink around and get you 2 earned runs. But if he does, I feel like he's kind of filling up the zone and making the Twins put the ball in play. So I did pick up their new second baseman now. Supposedly they have a new guy on their team that's been a fucking beast on the base pass. So I like to see that. But also, I don't expect Kyle Hendricks to continue to be walking 9% of dudes. Really?
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been over 8 in his career. Prior to that, I don't think he was over 7 outside of last year. So I feel like this is definitely a spot where, this is going to be a spot where you got to just throw strikes, bro. Like, the Twins are hitting for pop, right? You just don't want to give up the 3-run bombs. Giving up a solo shot's a solo shot. That's fine. But definitely when you have a team like the Twins who have that type of pop, you don't want to be giving them extra spots with walks and filling it up like that. So like that spot quite a bit. But Logan Gilbert's going to be the heavy lifter here. I think he's like minus 150, minus 160 for 8Ks. I know it's a big number, but I get to face off against the Marlins tonight. Again, I told you I really do like the Marlins. I think they're a good team. They're scrappy. They're a scrappy team. What I will say is, I don't know what it is in Miami, but they're not striking out in Miami. Like, their strikeout rate on the road is almost 30%. It's 7.5. On the road, it's been like astronomical. At home, it's been like 23%, 22%. So I think that's a big thing to look at as well. And then you get Logan Gilbert at home, which is just a machine, dude. Like, what, 38% K rate at home so far this year. And what I will say is, do I usually like to look at a sample size this small? No, like that's not usually what I'll look at. But let's look at him last year. I mean, he was sitting at 30% last year. Like that's still like crazy, right? Especially when the pitchers have the advantage early on in the season. But I will say, against righties, Logan Gilbert has just been dominant, like absolutely dominant to start this year against right-handed bats. As of right now, he has a 47% K rate to righties. 47. That is absurd, dude. That is obviously that's coming down. Like, that's impossible to hold on to. But what I will say this year is when he's up against righties, that slider has been unhittable. It's got a 44% whiff rate. That splitter is just kind of the pitch that makes him what he is, like good against both sides of the plate, because that splitter against lefties has been absolutely wipeout, and it has a 50% whiff rate on the season so far, and a 51% against lefties. So you look up and down this lineup. I just looked at the lineup that they faced with Nick Martinez, and Xavier Edwards from the left side, Jesus Sanchez from the left side, right? Wagaman from the left side, but they have Norby, Ramirez, Otto Lopez, and Dane Myers. Those are the righties, with a guy who's got a 50% K rate to righties. So I don't know. I'm not going anywhere close to bagging this Marlins team against, Logan Gilbert in Seattle, who has just been, it's been well documented last year, been absolutely unbelievable. This year, he has a 33% K minus BB. What are we like? That is absurd, man. Like, some of these numbers that Logan Gilbert's putting up this year has been crazy. I think I might double down again on his Cy Young odds as well. I think that's going to be something I go to again because I don't know, man. He's been so good to me. Even in his game against the Rangers last week, he sucked. Walked 3 guys, something you never see from him. Gave up 3 runs, 9 Ks. 4 2/3, 9 Ks. Like, even when he's sucking, this dude's getting whiffs. So sign me up, Logan Gilbert. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, no, I like the combo a lot. I mean, I think Logan Gilbert and like parlays and stuff like that, I'm going to definitely have multiple exposures. I'm definitely telling this. I was telling you, I think I'll probably throw in 7 with like Mets money line a little bit to fade the Nationals today. I mean, it's just, if anyone doesn't know, I write like some like projection focus, like write-ups a couple times a week. And this is the high. Gilbert's projected like 10.8 today. It's the highest projection I've seen all season from that model. The only other time it had it super high was one of those Reagan's breakout games as well, where he went crazy. So, I mean, the model clearly loves it. There's not a lot of reason to not love Logan Gilbert right now. He's, like you said, he's crushing. And he's one of the most fun pitchers in the league to watch because, like you said, he just attacks. He doesn't walk people. He's got great stuff, and he hits you with it. So definitely like the combo here. Love that it's plus money as well. Definitely going to be in on some Gilbert case tonight for sure.
Yeah, it's tough to find guys that are like that nowadays. It's really Skeens and him, kind of fitting in that mold of throwing hard, getting that many whiffs, and still being able to not walk guys at a high clip. So that is the show for today. Let's do a quick recap, and then we might have to recap our show from last time since we got an NFL draft.
Sounds good. Yep, we got Francisco Lindor over 1.5 total bases, -115. Widely available. Played that to -125-ish.
All right, I'm on Kyle Hendricks, 4 hits allowed, plus Logan Gilbert, 8 Ks at +106. And then, we can go back to our last show. I know one of them smashed, dude. I saw Hayward Highsmith like 19. Huh?
Yeah, his first quarter cash, baby. Knocking down threes. Shout out Hayward Highsmith. I mean, it was fun to watch on. He had one of his best games in a while. So he cashed this one really easily. The unfortunate side is Jonathan Isaac played 7 first half minutes and then hasn't been seen since. I don't even think he played last game at all. So I think no Tatum cooked me. And I didn't realize it was going to be that bad because without Tatum, they were like, I thought he'd guard bigs as well because he did. If you look at the minutes, he guarded Porzingis and Horford off the bench. He didn't do either of that. They just said, fuck it, we're taking you out with no Tatum. So my bad, shit read. But yeah, he didn't do shit in this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, luckily for us, I mean, Elder fucking was dicing for 4 1/3 innings. Shout out to the Cardinals for getting that shit done, getting to that 5 hits. Williams was like second inning cash there. Hopefully we'll get number 8 today. MLB numbers are flying through the roof right now, 14-7, 11-6-6. And yet again, I mean, NBA is still right there, man. We're still pushing close to that 20-unit mark. I'm hopefully crossing the fingers past the prop brings me that luck back. I took my first L on a free play in like a week and a half, and hopefully we can keep this one going because this has lasted like 2 weeks, and hopefully, knock on wood, they can continue to go with Logan Gilbert being our boy here to keep it rolling.
Sounds good. I see T last second asked about overs. I mean, yeah, I could see it. I'm not betting it personally. Carrasco kind of was good last game sneakily.
He's been good. He's been good this year.
But yeah, I would assume overs would be pretty good.
I am so in to fade fucking Jose Barrios in fucking Little League Stadium. Bro.
Yeah.
So in. It's just, how do I want to do it? The market's fucking shit. Like, looking at some of these numbers, dude, like, even it'd be hard for me to go to some of these hit runs RBI numbers, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of gross. And especially with a guy who walks this many dudes, it makes it even harder. Like, Aaron Judge, -115 for 2.5. I'm never playing 2.5 at minus. Vladdy +110, like Bichette +115, like, and then I'm paying -150 on Paul Goldschmidt. Like, they have it priced very well because they know that this is going to be a fucking shit show game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, what are you gonna do? Judge anytime home run +180? Like it's tough out here.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, and they kind of have to do it. That's the worst part. +165 on DraftKings right now.
I was joking, but yeah, that's crazy. It's worse
165.
than 165. There you go. There you go. He probably hits it too. That's the worst part.
I've been seeing a lot of people like Abbott here. I am not that guy in any shape or form, bro. Like, I don't even remember who I saw talking about it, but I saw somebody talking about how they thought this number was off because they're only -120. But I don't know, man. They just fucking rocked around Cole Reagans last night. Like, Reagans fucked me up. But what I will say is, when are we, like, what are we doing here with a 40%? He has a 40% strikeout rate. That is not happening, bro. His highest of his career is 26. Like, the regression's coming. I don't want to be on it when I watch. I might take the Rockies, bro. I think this might be like, I hate them. I absolutely despise this Rockies team. But damn, dude, like the regression's about to hit this dude harder than a box of rocks.
Yeah, I opened my app and I saw a bunch of people on the over, a bunch of them. And that's, I get it. You open up the stat sheet, you see the K rate, you see Rockies strike out a lot. I see why that's an easy click. You don't got to bet everything. Sweeper heavy in cores, regression coming. I mean, I'm just good to sit on the sidelines, man. I feel you. I agree with what you're saying. And it's just regression comes. I don't like buying high. This feels like buying high, and then you're buying high with everyone else too. You're all in the store at the same time, trying to get the same deal. Maybe it's not a deal. I don't know. I'll be chilling on the sidelines. Yeah,
I will say this year he has taken that sweeper down a lot. He has not been throwing it anywhere close to as much, which is very interesting. He's cut the sweeper usage in half. But what I will say is he faced the fucking Orioles. No shit, your number is going to be juiced to the gills, dude. 11 strikeouts against the Orioles, bro.
Yeah, that's
like the Orioles suck against lefties. Like I just brought it up on the last show. Like they are the worst team against left-handed pitching. They got 26% K rate, 44 WR plus. Right? That's your first matchup, right? Guess who your second matchup was? The fucking Pirates. Yes, is Colorado worse than them? Sure, but I mean, you're looking at a dude with a 40% K rate against two of the bottom 5 strikeout rates against lefties. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it, especially coming home. They competed yesterday. I don't know. I am not going anywhere close to the Reds. The Reds let you down more than any team in the fucking world.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say though, I do think you and me had like an argument about Abbott at one point last year on a bet, and I do think I won betting a strikeout. So you do got to remember that. I do like the guy historically.
I don't remember that. But you're probably betting him at fucking 3.5.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was too. And it
now
was
I'm betting him at 6.5.
Yeah, no,
shit. Doubling up. This guy's gonna double up.
A really vague memory of like
arguing. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's old as hell. But like I do remember arguing for Abbott at home. It literally was 3.5, I'm pretty sure. And I think we argued about it on the show for like maybe like 5-10 minutes or something like that. But yeah, no, it's exactly what you're saying. I'm used to him being a 3.5, 4.5 guy, so I'm not jumping up to 7. But maybe that's just me,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I ever could have thought that this Orioles team was as bad as they are against lefties. And a 44 WRC plus is actually worse than the Rockies. So
it's crazy.
Pretty wild. And again, let's look at last thing I'm going to say about this is he faced the Pirates, had a 5 strikeout game. And the Pirates are the exact same WRC plus against lefties as the Rockies. And now you're facing them in Coors, right? So, he could have a great game, 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, and we still lose this bet, right? If I was leaning anything, and if you really like him that much, I'm pretty sure his earned runs at 2.5 because they're in Coors. So I'd probably lean that more often than not over the strikeouts. But that's just me. Sue, you got anything else for the people here?
Last thing I'll say, let's root for Jalen Milroe to go to the Saints at plus 400. The other one I forgot to say, the Seahawks 20-1. Saints 400, Seahawks 20-1. Let's root for that. Shout out Jalen Milroe. Anything after pick 39, I'm a big fan. Anything before that, I'm gonna hate you forever. So let's get it done. Let's lock in tonight. And yeah, I appreciate everyone that was hyping up the draft stuff as well. I posted my reaction to every single draft pick last night. And yeah, I appreciate everyone giving the positive feedback. That was dope. So excited. More draft stuff tonight. I'll have more comments. I'm not going to do every pick, but I'll do a couple one-off ones on guys that I've researched a lot. So yeah, look forward to that and appreciate all the stuff. And we'll be back on Monday.
Yes, sir. I'll have to look at Monday stuff just to make sure we have not the crazy early games, but we will see. Thank you guys for tuning in, guys. We will be back Monday. And best of luck on all your bets today, this weekend. And, yeah, we'll catch you Monday. Have a good one, and good luck this week.